With women spending almost twice what men spend on clothing per year, why do we get shafted when it comes to quality and pocket size? Let's discuss. I have 2 pairs of pants that I have thrifted. One for men and one for women. They're both work trousers, and we are going to do a deep dive into their fabric and construction and talk about why in the world women get shafted when it comes specifically to pants. It is almost a running joke in fashion that women's pockets are ridiculous. I mean, some clothing just has the illusion of pockets, which I kind of think is less mean than those stupid tiny pockets that almost give you hope that you're going to be able to fit something in them and then absolutely nothing fits. But why? Why is this a joke? Why can't we, 50% of the workforce, the life givers of the world, why can't we have real pockets? As a woman who has, chronic shoulder pain, I don't always like carrying a purse. I want to put stuff in my pockets because that's what pockets are for, to hold my shit. But when I buy a pair of women's pants and they have the smallest pockets known to man, the amount of rage that I feel on the inside that comes on the outside is a lot. And that's not fair to the people around me. They didn't make the pockets. I should be mad at the people that made the pockets or didn't make pockets. And I have wanted to do this exercise for a while. So I ran across these pants. They are men's dress trousers in a thrift store for like $3. And I really, really like them. And when I saw on the inside how well made they were, I was both very excited and also very angry. So as an experiment, specifically for you all, so that we can learn together or be mad together, I'm not sure. I went back to the thrift store to look for an equivalent pair of women's pants. Let's talk about some of the experiences that I had. First and foremost, these men's pants are 100% wool. They are a very light, floaty, but still substantial suiting wool. They're in a stone gray with a light gray pinstripe. They are beautiful. Seriously, they are a gorgeous fabric. And the maker for these, J. Ferrar, is not a super high quality brand. It's fine. It's a perfectly fine brand of clothing for men, and yet they are turning out pants that are not only 100% wool, but also really nice wool. And when we get to the inside construction of this, maybe you'll see why I'm so frustrated about this. So in an effort to find some equivalent pants for women in the women's section, I went through every single pair of trousers they had at my local thrift store. And I did not find one pair in any of the sizes that was 100% wool. Not one. Every pair that I found that even looked like it might be wool turned out to be a blend, or in some cases had zero wool in it at all. You may not like wool pants, and I'm wondering if women don't like wool pants because of what I'm going to talk about with these, but wool is a great fabric to make pants out of. It's just a fantastic fabric, and it's not plastic. Nylon, polyester, lycra, those are all ultimately plastic materials, and I don't like having plastic next to my body. Neither of these are perfect, but wool is such a beautiful fabric to make pants out of. These were the closest that I could come up with. These are made by Banana Republic, which sometimes is good, sometimes is less good. They have great elements, and generally I like Banana Republic pants. They fit me very, very well. These pants are 57% wool, 39% polyester, 1% spandex, and 3% other fiber. I don't know what that means. I'm already frustrated by that, but I think we need to turn them inside out so that we can talk about the inside finishing and construction of these pants. What I can tell you is that the Banana Republic women's pants are fully lined, and they have to be because this wool, the 57% of wool that's in here, is very itchy. It is not the nice, smooth, cool feel of these, it is scratchy wool. So thank God these are lined. Otherwise they would be almost impossible to wear. These, the men's pants, only have a lining to the knee. Now yes, this lining is polyester. That is to be expected. Generally you don't get lining anymore that's actually made out of like cotton or anything. You're gonna get a polyester. But this wool is very smooth. There is no scratchiness to it at all. You could wear this wool next to your skin and it would not irritate most people, I would say. And I've got pretty sensitive skin and this is lovely. So let's dive in and take a closer look at the construction. All right, right off the bat, you'll probably notice that the pockets in the men's pants come down to the crotch. And we will rant about pockets in just a minute. But the other thing you should probably note is how the edges of everything are finished. Let me pull up the lining on this so that we can actually take a look at the pockets and the other seams, and we can do a good compare and contrast. This is exactly what I thought we were gonna find, and it is infuriating, I think. So on the men's pants, what you're gonna see is that all of the raw edges of the pockets have bias tape on them. This just helps to make sure that it doesn't fray. It keeps it nice and clean. So these pockets are gonna last a long time. I don't know if you can see it, but there is also a pocket right here. Men get a pocket within a pocket for some reason. I don't know what you men hold in this teeny tiny little pocket that's inside your pocket, but it is awesome. Also irritating that you get this and women don't. But they have the same finishing up on the waistband, and you'll see that the waistband has a few layers here. It is a pretty substantial waistband. You can tell that there is a few layers of interfacing on here. You can see that there's no stitching that is visible along the waistband. It's all nicely hidden in here. I think you can kind of see there's a little bit of the interfacing that's in there. Probably a horsehair-like interfacing that's going on just to give it some rigidity. If you move over to the fly, it's the same thing. So this fly part is pretty neatly sewn. The stitching looks good. One of the things I love about men's pants is not only do you get a waistband closure, but you get this little doodad here. So this part actually buttons right there. I don't know why, but I really like it because it kind of cinches it in just a teeny little more and helps it fit even better. And then on the other zipper part, we get the same bias tape along the raw edge so that none of this frays. Now let's look at the women's pockets. So on the Banana Republic pockets, you will see that first of all, the fabric for the pocket has been folded up here. So this is one piece, which means that there is no finishing that has happened on the bottom of this. That's probably not a huge deal, but if there were a little bit of bias tape here, then this would last a little bit longer. If you get a hole in this, it's going to be kind of tough to fix it. Also, there is no bias tape at all along the sewn edge. It is just serged together and then sewn. Also, the fabric choice here, this is definitely a polyester. It is very light, very flimsy. It's the same thing they use for the lining. Whereas on the men's pant, this is like a cotton. There is some heft to this. You can tell that it's like got some firmness to it. And I mean, the size difference is insane. We already knew this, but I could probably fit both of my hands into these pockets. Whereas this one's a joke. And it's a good pocket for women's pants, but still it is so small. So my phone with the women's pants compared to my phone in the men's pants. There's no comparison. Now, aside from the pocket, here's the fly. It's very similarly finished as the one on the men's. So we don't get any raw edges with this fly, which is nice, but they did put the tag here, which kind of annoys me a little bit. You know, put it on the side or put it somewhere where it's not like right on my crotch. When I pull this part back though, you can see that the fabric here has just been serged. It's just been overlocked so it doesn't fray. It's not covered in a bias tape like it is on the men's pant. You don't get the extra button here. You get a button, and this buttonhole actually looks pretty good. It looks like it was sewn pretty well. There is the button for it, and the waistband has some similar finishing. It's got this, I think this is decorative right here. I don't think that actually serves a purpose, but they at least enclosed all the raw edges in this finishing. So at least they did that. However, this waistband is a lot flimsier than the one on the men's pants. It does not feel like there is a substantial interfacing that's being done in this waistband. So what that means is that if maybe you're someone whose stomach folds at this spot, your waistband's gonna fold unless you wear a belt. Over time, it's gonna permanently crease that way, and it's just not gonna look as finished or as tailored. So having that interfacing in the waistband makes the professionalness of this last a little bit longer. If we flip these guys over and look at the back side of them, we get even more evidence to show how well made the men's pants are and how maybe not so well made the women's pants are. This is the back of the men's pants. Look at how clean this is. All of the edges again are encased in the bias tape. Even the waistband, while these two things don't line up, the waistband is very, very neat. It's very well finished. If I wanted to take these pants in, I don't think it would be too much of an issue because of how just neat and clean all of this is. And again, look at the size of these back pockets. I could fit my phone in there. That's great. On the women's pants, in no surprise to anybody, look at how poorly finished the back of these pants are. And I think this is part of the reason why there's a lining to it. Not just is the wool part of this fabric scratchy, but it hides a multitude of sins here. The back pocket is laughable. Men's pocket, women's pocket. We all know this is an issue. Why is this not better? This is ridiculous. On top of that, same thing. We don't have any nice, neat finishing on the edge of the pockets. We also don't have any nice, neat finishing on the center back seam. It's just overlocked to make sure that it doesn't fray. It's not even well pressed. I don't know where this is coming from, but it folds in on itself right here. It is not well done. And then if I look at the waistband for it, I'm thinking at one point these were tailored to fit a little bit better, because there is no way this came from the factory, right? Like this is bad. So somebody must have taken these pants in. Also, they are a size 14 and they fit me really well around the waist, and I am generally like a 10-12, so they're not even a little bit big. So I'm hoping that somebody actually tailored these and just poorly stitched this back part in. So for women's pants, these are actually pretty good, but they're not great, and they are certainly not the quality that men get. So I realized that I had not filmed a conclusion for this, and here we are a week later. So what have we learned about men's pants versus women's pants? So probably nothing new. We all knew that men get better pockets, but now we know they get probably better fabrics, certainly better construction in this case. There's no call to action to this. I don't know what to do with this information other than just maybe encourage you to take a little peek over at the men's section now. I'm thinking in the future we look at tailoring men's pants to fit us better because we deserve it, I guess. Until then, we are just going to continue to stew and try to take advantage of all of the offerings that the men's section might have for us. I do want to give a shout out to all of my makers over on Ko-fi. Thank you so much for supporting me and this channel. If you are interested in becoming a maker, it is $2 a month and it helps fund all the weird stuff we do over here. If you don't want to join, no big deal, nothing else changes. So that is it for this time. I will see you guys later. Good luck finding your special men's pants, I guess. All right, anyway, bye.